Consider this video to be an offensive primer for one element to Sunday Night Football's rematch between the Lions and the Rams. I was able to get out a large-scale defensive preview on Saturday. Not able to complete a, a offensive preview for the Lions facing the Rams defense, but nonetheless, the Rams defense in a drastically different place than maybe a lot of people thought, even as recently as 2 weeks ago. Of course, they traded Ernest Jones, the inside linebacker, who had a fantastic 2023 season for them. I was able to see the Rams compete, not live, but in a live game format, watching on television against the Ravens late in the regular season and against the Lions in the playoffs, and certainly they went on a run. But Jones is gone. Aaron Donald clearly retired. I believe late Thursday afternoon, they placed Darius Williams on IR, so he will not play in Sunday night's game. And that's a corner who, first of all, he had a great year for the Jags in 2023. They released him, even though I think he had 4 picks and like almost 20 pass deflections, a couple of forced fumbles, played really well. The Rams brought him back. He had begun his career there, I think, as a UDFA. So he's on IR. They have Tre'Davious White is another corner, outside corner for them. Very versatile and talented dude, especially played well with the Bills before injuries the last 2 years. He did not participate in Friday's practice, but it appears as if most of that was related to rest and just trying to get him to the game, because Kobe Durant, the other outside corner for them, had also had some injury concerns and was a limited participant Wednesday and Thursday. So the element of the game that I'm going to just comment on or talk about here is the Lions' passing. If you add all that together, I have no problems if a Lions fan or an evaluator says, hey, they're set up to throw the ball well. No Aaron Donald, who's their primary pass rush guy, obviously, for a long time. They did draft Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, and Byron Young's a really talented outside linebacker who I think had 8 sacks last year, so don't discount his ability to impact the game. The Lions have an unbelievable, I think, Hall of Fame projected receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown. If he stays on his current statistical track and impact, I just don't think there's any argument. He reminds me of TJ Watt. After TJ Watt's, I think, 3rd season or maybe 4th, I did a video in the offseason. Of course, I'm a Ravens fan, so you guys understand how highly I must have thought of him at the time to do this video. I said he's on a Hall of Fame track. I don't see how, if Amon-Ra St. Brown stays healthy for another 4 seasons, maybe 5, that he doesn't, continue on this track as well. Sam Laporta put up a historic season for a rookie tight end last year. Jamison Williams is going to get more snaps. From a just statistical standpoint, you expect more opportunities for him. If the Lions can pass pro this front, which you would presume that they can, they have about as good as an offensive line as you'll see anywhere in the NFL, then they've got a great opportunity, I think, to come in and be threatening with the pass game early. And here's what I mean. Everyone expects the Lions to run the ball or run play action from under center. It is a large part of their offense, don't get me wrong. I do wonder or suspect if we're going to see a little bit more 11 personnel or 12 that becomes 11. So the Lions injury report didn't include anyone on the offensive side, just defensive players. Strickland, Melifonwu, and Reeder. I don't think any of those guys is going to play at the time that I record this, at least like 9 a.m. Sunday morning. So you're welcome to let me know in the comment section if that's inaccurate, if some of those guys are going to play, but it doesn't sound like they are. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see 12 personnel with Laporta and a second tight end. You would presume Brock Wright, such that Laporta ends up lining up at receiver anyway. So, because I'm interested in what the Rams do defensively. In previous years, against 11 personnel, they've been a base nickel defense in a lot of cases. Even against some 21 personnel and 12, they've been in their nickel. I'm wondering what they do if the Lions come out in 12 personnel, where they certainly can run the ball. Don't listen to people say that Sam Laporta can't block. I still am shocked at some of those commentaries or evaluations. Him and Brock Wright out there as tight ends, either one of them can line up at fullback. So you have real versatility from a formation standpoint. The formation means where they line up. The personnel, 12, is just who's on the field. So it flows, the personnel grouping, then the formation, then the play, whether it's a run or a pass play. Laporta and Brock Wright can both line up at tight end, fullback, and as well they can line up at receiver. Brock Wright's going to give you far less than Laporta as a receiver. I'm interested in here's the thing I'm most interested in tonight. The Lions thoughts on what they want to face out of the Rams. So first, are the Rams going to respond against 12 personnel? Are the Rams going to respond with their base 3-4 defense? They've got a new defensive coordinator. Are they going to respond with their base 3-4 defense, or are they going to be in some type of nickel, which they've been one of the teams that was more heavily based out of a nickel personnel group defensively than most others, them and the Bills, to my knowledge. If they are going to respond to their base defense out of 12 personnel, do the Lions want to be in that matchup? Meaning, let's keep 4 DBs on the field for them. Or, another thought, with Darius Williams being out and just recently placed on IR, Kobe Durant having some injuries, do the Lions want to get the Rams' 5th DB on the field? Do they want to get the third corner or the nickel corner on the field? Go deep, force the Rams to go deeper into their depth chart. So I think there's some real games that will be played during this from a strategic standpoint. It's one of the reasons why I track data the way that I do during the games. And what I mean by that, if you're not familiar, is I generally track, now this is Ravens and Chiefs from Thursday night, I generally track the data with the personnel so I can see when I do the game reaction videos and film studies later in the week that, they started off the game with a lot of 11 personnel, meaning the Lions. Why? Maybe they wanted to get those DBs on the field and make them play a lot. Not saying they wanted to get them hurt, but they want to test the depth of the Rams secondary. It's quite possible. Or, my apologies, wrong picture. Wow. Or do they want to stay with their 12 personnel and go against the base defense of the Rams with Laporta lined up as a third receiver? Essentially, that 12 personnel group can be 11 personnel in an instant because of Laporta's versatility. I look for the pass game to be a big determining factor for the game, for the outcome of the game. I look for the Lions' pass game, their ability to pass pro, what choices they make tactically. Do they want to go against the Rams' nickel defense? Do they want to go against the Rams' base defense? And then how successful are those guys at getting open against Tre'Davious White, Kobe Durant, and some of the safeties that the Rams will have out on the field? To me, I cannot fault you for being optimistic as a Lions fan, but we know that Sean McVay and those guys are going to come in with a great game plan. Their schemed up run plays and pass plays. It'll be the Lions' defense's job to make the Rams one-dimensional, hopefully by taking away the run game, and force them to throw the ball a lot to beat them. It sounds like Havenstein is a possibility of a go. As I record this on Sunday morning, I haven't seen anything that indicates he was out. The last injury report I saw said questionable, that he was a limited participant Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. At this point, those guys are obviously in Detroit, in the Michigan area, and they know, the Rams know, who's going to play and who does not. I didn't see any news different for Havenstein. So that would be a element that would also tip the scales in the Lions' favor. You got a huge opportunity for a win here, a great win against Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, and that unique under center offense that they bring that really, I think, stands out among the NFL. Even a different flavor than the 49ers under center offense. So you guys let me know what you think of this type of content. A quick preview. I didn't get to do a offensive preview the way that I wanted in the last 2 or 3 days. Ran up against a blockade of time, let's do it that way, with school starting and the Ravens film study videos, trying to get them out. So appreciate you guys checking this one out. If you enjoyed it, please let me know what your thoughts are on the ideas that I put forth, that the Lions pass game, 2 factors, I guess, the Lions pass game against the Rams defense and the Lions' ability to stop the run and force Sean McVay's offense to be one-dimensional. Those are the 2 biggest factors. I don't do score predictions because I do ranges generally, and this one seems like a very difficult one to get a range on, to get a handle on. Because it's the first game of the year, the Rams have so many injuries, and we don't know what the Rams are going to be able to do from a pass rush perspective with Jarrett Verse on one side, Byron Young on the other, and no Aaron Donald. Hey, it's possible those 2 young guys really get after it and cause a lot of havoc. I didn't think in my draft coverage and scouting of Jarrett Verse that he was a completely refined pass rusher. I thought he had a lot of talent, and I thought he looked like a great prospect, and for the Rams, it's great for them to get him. You could certainly say that right now it looks like the Rams pass rush would be a weaker element than it was in the 2023 wildcard game. So let me know what you think of those thoughts and this quick commentary / projection on the two biggest elements to the game for me, along with turnovers, which obviously is almost always a determining factor. Appreciate you guys' time, man. If you think other Lions fans would enjoy this commentary video, this projection early on a Sunday morning, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.